Antoine Somdah is the ambassador of the Republic of Burkina Faso to Russia. He was born in 1962. When he was 26, he came to the Soviet Union to study, entered RUDN, and in 1993 got a bachelor degree of Russian higher education institution in law, and then a master degree in international public law. He knows Russian, English, German, and French. 2 years ago, our country celebrated a big anniversary. In February 2017, it was 50 years from the moment of establishment of diplomatic relations between Russia and Burkina Faso. What landmarks of this half of a century united the two apparently different countries? The most important event is the arrival of our president, Thomas Sankara, to the USSR in 1986. He met Mikhail Gorbachev. Back then, we had very close relations with Russia. 5 years ago, when you only entered your current office, you said that Burkina Faso was ready to intensify its scientific, technical, and commercial cooperation with Russia. And what have you already achieved in these 5 years? The embassy was established only in 2014. We built the basis for its creation. We're developing close connections with Russia. Russian companies work in Burkina Faso. In the field of military cooperation, we train 7 people. Plus we have students, though not a lot of them, who get government training. About 15 people study here by private agreements. They're interested in getting education in Russia, as Russia has already trained about 3,500 specialists who work in public institutions and occupy very high posts. You mean you're going to increase the number of students from Burkina Faso in the Russian higher education institutions? Of course, we're working on that. We work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in order to increase quotas for our republic. Of course, when we were not here, we lost quotas. We used to have a quota, 2 students a year, but it's not enough. We signed the agreement with the Ministry of Education and Science of Russia, and they gave us a quota for 3 students per year. But we hope for more. We're working on that. And what courses are demanded by students from Burkina Faso? Economy, construction, and mining. And what about law? Yes, and also law. It's important for us. More and more people are being interested in studying international relations. I think Russia trains good specialists in this field. Today, the South African Republic is being called a window to Africa. Did Burkina Faso feel any changes when the South African Republic became a part of BRICS in 2011 and turned it into BRICS? You can say so, because the South African Republic is a member of BRICS, and BRICS represents today's fastest-growing economies. Russia, Brazil, China, India, and South Africa are large countries, leading to a new round in the international relations. It gives other orientations in the field of economy, because the existing systems do not allow developing countries to do what they want. I think it is necessary to use other options. We have good relations with the South African Republic. Burkina Faso houses SAR's embassy, and they have our embassy. We're developing friendship and cooperation, including with the BRICS countries. We're on friendly terms with all the BRICS countries. Concerning the cooperation with BRICS countries, for example, I know that recently the PRC began building 100 new schools within 8 initiatives in Burkina Faso. They were nominated at a forum on China-Africa cooperation in Beijing. We opened our embassies in China in May last year and established very cordial relations with China at once. And of course, they felt welcomed in Burkina Faso. You know that terrorists get into our country and destroy our schools. Thousands of children are left without schools. Therefore, China undertook to help us with school training, to build new houses and schools, and allow them to study normally. And in what fields have you developed relations with India? The relationship with India also develops very actively. They build hotels. They gave us 150 buses. They support us in different fields. They train our experts. Trainees go there. We have good relations with Brazil. This country houses our embassy too. And what about cooperation with Russia? In July this year, at the Russia-Africa Parliamentary Conference, the chairman of the Parliament of Burkina Faso urged Russian investors to come to Africa, give jobs, and help the vulnerable segments of the population. What social projects is Russia already implementing on the territory of Burkina Faso? If we are friends, we need to help each other. Because when you come, you get knowledge from us. And we get it from you. It's all about knowledge sharing. Countries need it, especially such countries as ours. We need to get knowledge in the field of technology. We need to train mining specialists, because we have resources. We mine gold. Russian companies work there. It's very important to make our people proficient, give them know-hows on country development. When a company is being established in our country, jobs start to appear. It's very important for young people. Burkina Faso is a young country, and about 70% of the population is younger than 30, and it is a high potential. And the local population should be supported. For example, a new mine is being opened. It's necessary to create new jobs for the population. If you don't do it, problems arise. They strike and demand their rights. It's necessary to make the population feel the relations between our countries. They just heard information on TV, but they should also feel this interaction on the social level. I suppose people cannot feel each other without cultural exchange. What is the current level of cultural exchange between our countries? Interaction in this field is developing slowly. Though we have many Russian tourists, people from Russia come to Burkina Faso, for example, to watch the Festival of Masks. It's very interesting. The last festival was visited by Russian delegations. They do not stay in big cities. They go to the countries in order to understand the culture. It's very important to understand each other. Of course, the embassy does not miss an opportunity to present our culture, for example, in universities and institutes. While we're on the subject of universities, what institutes are currently popular among students from Burkina Faso?
RUDN.
They study in RUDN and at the Moscow Polytechnical University. I guess in these two higher institutions, mostly so far. The literal translation of Burkina Faso into Russian sounds like the fatherland of fair people. Why was the country called like that in 1984? I have already mentioned that President Thomas Sankara came to Russia in 1986. This is a very charismatic president who introduced the new regime in 1983. He made a democratic revolution in Burkina Faso and wanted to build a fair society. Yes, earlier our country was called Upper Volta. Colonialists gave this name to it. In our country, there are 3 rivers, Red Volta, White Volta, and Black Volta. Therefore, they called our country the Upper Volta. Thomas Sankara was not satisfied with that, and that's why he called the state Burkina Faso. This is a phrase from 2 languages of our country, Moor and Dioula. Burkina in Moor means fair people, and Faso in Dioula means the homeland. Therefore, our country is called the homeland of fair people. People in Burkina Faso are called Burkinabe. It came from one more language, which is important for our country, Fulfulbe. And how is Burkinabe translated? Fair people. This is a very beautiful name. I guess it was welcomed in the country. Did your people like it? Of course. Thomas Sankara's policy lasted only 4 years, but all the things he managed to do mean a lot. People worked and understood that their destinies were in safe hands. People constructed railroads by themselves. He was a very famous politician with good ideas, but he was not able to materialize everything he wanted. This is typical of Africa.
Так бывает в Африке.
Спасибо вам большое, господин Somdah.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Somdah. I hope that all planned projects between Russia and Burkina Faso will be performed successfully.
Все больше культурного обмена. Спасибо.